I could walk this valley blindfolded. I could walk this valley blindfolded. My feet know every stone that waits for them, every dip where the meltwater cuts the path in spring, every root that lies just below the snow. I do not need eyes to find the river. My skin feels the cold that rises from it before I hear the water. I do not need to look to find the cliff. The wind changes its song when it hits that wall of stone. In summer, the river smells of mud and fish oil, and the flies bite at your ankles where the fur ends. The grass along its side cuts your calves when you run, leaving thin red lines that sting in the water. The rocks there are slick and hungry. They wait for careless feet. In winter, the same river goes quiet, its voice trapped under ice. The sound changes, no rushing, only the crack and groan when the cold is angry. The air burns your chest when you breathe, and the snow hides the holes where the ground gives way. But I know where the ice is thick, where it will take my weight, where it will take a herd's. The cliffs remember me too. There is a ledge halfway up where I can press my back to the stone and never be seen from below. There is a crack in the rock where goats slip through, single file, always the same path, their hooves knocking loose the same pebbles. Even in fog I can hear which animal moves where, the heavy, slow drag of bison, the light, nervous tap of deer, the quick scrape of a wolf hiding its scent in the wind. When I was small, they tested me against this valley. My first hunt was not in the easy ground near the cave. They took me to the far bend of the river, where the ice is thin and the reeds grow taller than a man. The elders watched from the slope while I slipped through the cold mud, spear shaking in my hands, breath loud in my ears. A boar broke from the reeds, all teeth and steam. For a moment, my legs forgot the ground they knew. Then the valley caught me. The mud grabbed my heel, swung me just enough that the boar's tusk scraped my thigh instead of opening it. My spear found the soft place behind its shoulder. Its weight drove me backward, but the roots beneath the water held me up. That night, I slept alone above the river on a narrow shelf of rock the others used when they were tested. The wind there never rests. It claws at your ears and nose, brings the smell of snow from far away. I lay awake, listening to every sound, the crack of ice, the stone that rolled on the slope, the distant call of wolves. None of it frightened me. Each sound told me where it belonged. Each sound said, "You are in the right place." After that night, I walked this land as if it were part of my own body. The river was my vein, the cliffs were my ribs, the paths the animals carved were the lines in my palm. Danger did not vanish, but it moved slower for me. I could feel it coming through the rock, through the air, through the way the birds went silent before a storm. When the land knows you, you start to believe nothing can move you. When the land knows you, you start to believe nothing can move you. The cold that kills others only sharpened us. The cold that kills others only sharpened us. When the first hard winds come, we feel them in our bones like an old song. Frost gathers on our eyelashes until every blink makes the world crack with light. Our breath hangs in the air in front of us, white and heavy, as if even the air is too tired to move. The fur on our shoulders turns white at the tips where the snow clings, and when we step inside the cave, it melts in little rivers down our arms. Our hands crack and split in the freeze, but we wrap them around the fire and laugh when it hurts. The pain means we are still here. The snow packs into our fur until we are heavy with it, and we shake ourselves like beasts at the cave mouth, filling the air with white dust. Children scrape frost from the cave ceiling and taste it on their tongues, their breath puffing like smoke from small mouths. The ones who pass through our valley in that season stumble and cough, their eyes running, their fingers stiff and white. They look at the sky as if it has betrayed them. We look at the same sky and nod. This is the world telling us who belongs and who does not.
We learned to eat the winter before it ate us.
We learned to eat the winter before it ate us. When the herds moved away and the world went silent, we chewed the hard meat we had dried in the last red days of autumn. We pounded fat into it with our fists until it softened, until even the old ones could swallow. We cracked frozen marrow from bones with stones and sucked it out with our teeth, warm and slick against the numbness of our lips. We boiled hides until they turned thick and soft, and the steam filled the cave, and we drank that water, rich and slippery, when there was nothing else. We shared everything. A strip of meat passed from hand to hand, a bone gnawed by many mouths in turn. No one ate alone. Hunger made our minds sharp. It taught us how to find roots under snow, how to read the colour of bark to know which tree kept life inside it. Outside our caves, the ones who smelled of strange smoke built their shelters thin and straight, as if they had never seen a real winter. They wrapped themselves in many small pieces of skin stitched tight, but their eyes stayed soft, their mouths always open with surprise at the wind. They did not know where the earth keeps its hidden warmth. They did not know which stones remember the sun longest, or how to press together under one blanket of fur until many bodies become one fire. We watched them shiver and thought, the cold is telling them a story they cannot understand. One winter came when even we wondered if the sun had forgotten us. The snow did not melt, it only shifted, deeper and deeper, swallowing the old paths, burying the rocks we trusted. Our breath froze on the inside of the cave roof and fell on us in the night. Children woke with white dust on their faces. The fire ate more wood than we had, so we walked farther each day, breaking the crust of snow with our legs until our thighs burned. We dug into drifts higher than our heads to find branches trapped there the year before. We broke the ice on the river with stones until our fingers bled, just to hear water again. We slept in a knot, all of us, pressed so close that you could not tell whose arm lay across your chest, whose hair tickled your nose. We sang low songs to keep the fear from growing teeth. And still, we woke up, again and again. We beat the ice, again and again, so we thought we could beat everything. Strength hides its own weaknesses. Strength hides its own weaknesses. Our bodies were our gods. Heavy bones, thick muscle, necks like carved stone. We learned early that we could carry more meat, more wood, more children through the snow than the others. When we pushed against a boulder, it moved. When we pushed against a man, he fell. This felt like truth. This felt like the world had been made in our shape, and nothing small or quick could take it from us. So we did not hurry. We did not listen when the thin ones spoke of ways to move without strain. Why change what already bends the world? Our caves grew small before we admitted they were crowded. We filled them with our heavy sleep, our broad backs, our slow steps dragging fur across stone. Children learned to move sideways, to slip between legs and fire and stone, because there was no room left to walk straight. The smoke stayed longer in the roof, clung to our hair and fur, burned our eyes until they watered. We said this was the price of being many and strong. We said better to choke together than shiver apart under open sky. Our habits wrapped us tighter than our furs. We sat where our fathers sat. We lit fires where we had always lit fires. The path from cave mouth to ash pile became as fixed as the bones in our feet. Our blood, too, ran in a small circle. The faces around our fires were the same faces, over and over again. The curve of a nose, the shape of a jaw, the way an eye narrowed in anger or softened in sleep. These were stories we knew by heart. We trusted what was familiar and kept it close. Strangers did not sleep in our caves. New ways did not sleep there either. We looked at newborns and saw our own brows, our own hands, our own walk. We called this safety. We did not ask what else might be carried, hidden deep in that sameness, waiting to break. There was a winter when the herds turned away from us. They moved farther along the valley, following a new path the young ones said they had seen in the summer. We must go after them, they said. We must sleep in a cave we do not know. The elders shook their heads until the braids in their hair swung like roots. This cave had kept us through many cold moons. Its stone knew our backs, its smoke knew our lungs. We stayed. The snow piled higher. The meat ran thin. Children woke in the night, not from cold, but from the sound of their own bellies speaking. Sickness came first, moving from mat to mat like a shadow that learned our names. Then hunger, walking behind it on quiet feet. We carried the weak closer to the fire, but the fire could not feed them. One by one, the ones who had said, "Stay," lay still. Their strength had filled the cave, and their silence filled it now. Only when the smoke was thin and the bodies many did we move, stepping out into a world that had already gone on without us. The path the herds had taken was old now, packed hard by other feet. We thought our weight would anchor us, that our sameness would keep us from being scattered. We did not see how the world was changing its shape around us, how paths were bending away from the caves we would not leave, how minds were stretching in directions our bones refused to follow. We did not die in a single battle. We cracked slowly along lines we refused to see. You live in a world we never imagined. If you would learn how we broke, subscribe and hear the rest of my confession.